Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our December 2nd meeting. We're already in December, so hard to believe. Okay, it's 9:30. Going to call the meeting to order and start off with the land acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge that the Township of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen is located on the Treaty 20 Mississauga territory of the Mississauga and Chippewa Nations, collectively known as the Williams Treaties First Nation, which includes Third Lake, Hiawatha, Alderville, Scugog Island, Rama, Beausoleil, and Georgina Island First Nations. The Township of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen respectfully acknowledges that the Williams Treaties First Nations are the stewards and caretakers of the lands and waters in perpetuity, and that they continue to maintain this responsibility to ensure their health and integrity for generations to come. That'll move into a moment of silent reflection for council and staff to quietly reflect on the duties to the community that we represent. Thank you. All right, then I'll remind council of the declaration or of the declaration of pecuniary interest if it arises. I'll ask everyone to make sure your cell phones are off so it doesn't disturb the meeting. And with that, we do have minutes here from the regular council meeting December 18th. For motion to receive them, both in order. Moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councillor Clement. All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, we're going to move right into delegation. And our first delegation here is Joel, Senior Advisor, Community Relations with Alto. That's a change.
Yeah, that's a change.
Yeah, welcome, Joel.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Appreciate the opportunity to make a delegation here and talk about our high-speed rail project. So yes, I'm Joel Lee, and I'm Senior Advisor, Community Relations with Alto. And we're going to be putting in some high-speed rail through Eastern Ontario and Quebec. And so I'm going to give you, sure you're aware of some of the background of this project over the years. I'm going to go into a little bit of that. So there was an announcement back in February by the Prime Minister that that via HFR would become Alto, Federal Crown Corporation. That's now mandated to deliver high-speed rail project that will bring 60% of Canada's population closer together. Advancing on me. Go back with down. All right. Zeroing in on the specific challenges this project aims to address, Alto's high-speed rail project will help to improve productivity throughout the corridor and surrounding areas by addressing increased travel costs and fuel, vehicle maintenance, and even infrastructure maintenance, alleviating congestion on major highways and airports, and bringing disconnected communities closer together through a convenient mode of transportation that reduces greenhouse gas emissions and improves quality of life throughout the corridor. Next slide. The project will run on 1,000 kilometers of dedicated electrified track. Our service will be fast, frequent, and reliable. Reaching speeds of 300 kilometers an hour, we will be reducing travel times throughout the Toronto to Quebec City corridor. Given the specific design requirements of this technology, we will need new track dedicated to moving people only, which has a benefit of increased reliability to ensure trains arrive on time and bring you where you need to go when you expect to. We're targeting frequent departures with 20 to 30 trains daily that will enable convenient travel options and accommodate a flexible travel schedule. Next slide. So here you can see our 7 station locations. We've got Toronto, Peterborough, Ottawa, Laval, Montreal, Trois-Rivières, and Quebec City. We don't have a rail alignment, so the line to actually connect all these dots is what we're working on right now. In the coming months, we'll be sharing corridor concepts, so to see a broad overview of the potential areas where the track might run. And from there, we'll refine down to a specific route using technical analysis that includes safety, design, the environment, and social considerations. Next slide. So here is the estimated travel time. So we're looking at going from Peterborough to Toronto in about 40 minutes. Toronto to Ottawa in 2 hours, or Montreal in 3. So this will significantly cut down travel time throughout this area and even connect people to potential employment in cities that they wouldn't have considered in the past. Next slide. From an economic perspective, high-speed rail is projected to increase Canada's GDP by 1.1%, or about $24 billion annually. Through increased productivity, the cities being brought closer together, higher participation in the workforce, and increases in tourism. Next slide. There are several other outcomes from this project, including a meaningful contribution toward reconciliation with Indigenous peoples, with whom Alto has been engaging for several years, an increase in rail travel adoption resulting in safer travel between cities, reduced environmental impacts with fewer cars on the road, and enhanced passenger experience on the corridor means you can multitask or just enjoy the ride while you travel. Next slide. The project also aims to strengthen the Canadian economy by sourcing goods and services right here. We will need substantial volumes of steel, aluminum, and concrete for a track, trains, buildings, overpasses, and related infrastructure. We're also going to need the people to build it. We're expecting this project to generate about 50,000 jobs. Next slide. Alto is not doing this work alone. In 2023, Transport Canada launched a rigorous RFP process to identify a project partner. This process closed in February when the Prime Minister announced that Alto would work with Cadence, which is a consortium of rail infrastructure companies based in Canada and France, with expertise in delivering transportation and high-speed rail projects on a global scale. Next slide. So here you can see where we're at the beginning of the development phase. Over the next 4 years, we will identify the corridor and exact alignment, select station locations, complete the regulatory process, acquire the land, and finalize the engineering design. At the end of the development phase, Alto and Cadence will present the cost and timeline of a shovel-ready project to the federal government. After that, we're hoping to start construction. Next slide. Being in the development phase means that we are engaging with stakeholders, including local organizations and elected officials like yourselves, consulting with Indigenous communities and facilitating their participation in the project, and establishing a corridor. Next slide. We are aware that not all communities see themselves in this project, especially those who are not supported with one of the 7 station locations. Recognizing this, Alto is in the initial stages of creating a community benefits plan that will create sustained, measurable benefits for impacted communities along the project alignment. The early vision for the program includes a focus on economic opportunities through employment and procurement for local businesses. Next slide. So I'm going to share our plans for the coming months. Alto will launch a comprehensive engagement process. We'll offer several open houses, virtual information sessions, and an online platform that will focus on educating the public on high-speed rail and give participants an opportunity to share insights that will help inform the project decision-making process. As these dates are confirmed, we'll be posting our open house schedule, and we'll share that directly with municipalities and the communities along the corridor. Next slide. Underpinning our engagement here at Alto are the principles that ensure that we are open, transparent, and that we reflect the local needs across the corridor through respectful communications and an inclusive and collaborative approach. Next slide. And to wrap things up, I want to emphasize that our priority continues to be on building awareness of the project and sharing information with municipalities through the corridor. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and happy to entertain any questions that council may have.
All right, thank you, Joel. And it's nice to see someone local working on this. Are pretty local anyways.
Norman's just up the road.
Yeah. So you understand how important it is to Havelock-Belmont-Methuen. The rail is a big part of this town, always has been. I've been involved in a lot of discussions around this, as you're aware. It's been going on for a long time, and I was pretty excited when it was the high frequency rail. This high speed it sounds great, but I think the high frequency for the smaller communities along the railway would have been more accessible. And we were even talking at one point, this was a few years ago, that they could have the rail to Peterborough and Havelock within 2 years. That was about 5 years ago. So now we're moving into the high speed, and I don't know how that's going to help, the small communities along the way. I don't even know where it's going to go through because it's a dedicated rail. When it was high frequency, we were looking forward to upgrades to the rail system for Copia and things like that, they would be able to have a better system. And this being dedicated, it's going to be specific to high speed. So the speed is amazing, and it will benefit a lot of people. But, I'm just not sure what it's going to do for the community along the way. And hopefully you'll look out for that. We have 95 acres here across the road. If there's any servicing or anything that can be done, that would be even a help to get some jobs to the area. So I'll open up to council for any questions and Deputy Mayor Webb.
Yeah, thank you very much for the presentation through you, Mr. Mayor. I think the mayor kind of hit on where I was going with this in terms of the high frequency versus the high speed. I had similar comments when, I don't know if you did the presentation in county, but the high speed sounds great, but in terms of what it's going to do for our community, there's just a bunch of high speed trains ripping through, right? The initial construction, yeah, maybe we see a few benefits. High frequency would be better. We might have a chance of obviously getting our station upgraded and whatnot. But to the mayor's last point, in terms of the 90 acres we have over here, well, we know we won't be getting a station or whatnot. There will need to be servicing done to these trains, whether it's mechanical servicing, cleaning, things like that. Has there been any discussion in terms of where that facility might be located? Because to the mayor's point, we do have 90 acres here.
Yeah.
And an offshoot spur or something like that would be something that I think, I don't want to speak for all the council, but I'm sure we would at least entertain the concept of something like that. So to the mayor's point also, that you being local, if you could maybe carry that message on to the people that are making some of the decisions that, we're here, we have land and we're willing to work with you if that's possible. So
yeah, absolutely. And I don't think it's lost on the team that there is a wealth of not just land, but the expertise that comes with it, right? Not every community has people who are involved in the rail industry. And I'll speak to a couple parts of this. So when we did the RFP process, there was 3 consortiums that bid. They all put together a conventional rail project, the high frequency and a high speed concept. And those were all brought to Transport Canada. And I'm not privy to all the confidential documents that went back and forth at that time, but based on their ridership projections and everything that came with it, that was the federal government's decision, seeing basically 6 different versions, right? Three high frequency, 3 high speed. And it was the KDON's proposal with the high speed that was most alluring to them. So I'm left to believe that must be the most attractive to have a sustainable railway in the future. And I get, and I'm going to the communities between here and Ottawa, and you guys are much closer to the station that will be in Peterborough than a lot of others, and there are concerns, and I get it. We're going to have a higher impact, but we are going to work with those communities to minimize the negative, and then put together community benefits plans. Part of that being, we're going to need literally tons and tons of aggregates to build this thing. So just from the get-go, a lot of our communities, that's a backbone for a lot of our industry, and sort of there are things like that. Addressing the location, the big thing right now, we have different concepts, and when you see in the new year the maps that come out that give the broad corridor that we're looking at, you're going to see some ideas that involve this Highway 7 corridor and some that go a fair bit south of here. And so if we don't go through Havelock, right, it's not an option. But certainly there will be a need for facilities along the way for various levels of maintenance and access and those sorts of things. And so we'll definitely keep Havelock top of mind. I know, Jim, we're going quite back quite a ways, but I remember there was a plan for a whole rail yard with the shining waters right here in Havelock. And again, those concepts aren't lost on us.
Okay, good. Any other questions or comments from council? Well, thank you, Joel. Yeah, we look forward to hearing from you again. And if you need anything, just reach out. So
I'm happy to come back anytime.
Yeah.
This was my best drive so far. It's like 7 minutes to get here. So thanks so much for having me.
All right, thank you. Motion to receive the delegation, moved by Councillor Doherty and second by Deputy Mayor Webb. All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, next on the agenda is Sean Horgan, the Chief Executive Officer with Peterborough Humane Society. Good
morning, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to come in and speak with you today. Happy to just give a little bit of an overview of PHS, our overall history, and some of the services that we've been providing to the municipality for the last number of years, some transition plans that we have in place, that we're moving forward with, and then obviously some opportunities or proposals associated with continued service for the future. So we'll see if this will.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you were.
An operator here.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I should formally say, Mr. Mayor, members of council and staff, thank you so much for having me today. I appreciate the opportunity to speak. I'm Sean Morey, the Chief Executive Officer of the People and Humane Society. We, as an organization, have been established since 1941, so we'll be celebrating our 85th birthday coming up in the new year, which we're very excited about. We've kind of started as an organization originally designed as volunteers, just supporting stray animals out in the community. We have evolved, obviously, over time, and more specifically, rapidly evolved over the last 3 years with our new facility to become a full service organization that's supporting animal care, sheltering, education, and community support. And our continued goal is to do more in that realm, is part of the reason why we're here today. Our mission as an organization, I think the big piece of it, I'm not going to read it word for word, but we're going to be the voice for animals through community outreach, humane education, adoption, and the whole goal is to keep pets and people together. We've seen some drastic, some great stories associated with animals, more locally with COVID and the things that have transpired associated with that. But falling on the other end of it, we've seen some terrible stuff as well. So our goal is to realign with our mission, getting back to supporting animals within our communities and the people that are within them as well. And that's kind of the sole focus as we move things along. Our vision as an organization is, we want to see a world where compassion for animals and their well-being is ingrained in the fabric of society. And so that is going to be our motivation as we develop programs, services, and offerings for the future associated with it. And our values, I'll identify, that comes down to community, respect, animal well-being, and excellence in care and services. So that's a quick little brief overview associated with, what we as an organization are here to provide the residents of Havelock-Belmont-Methuen, what our goals are going to be going forward, and kind of that's the principles associated with kind of the concepts of our organizational motivation for the future. So just wanted to provide a little bit of township impact associated with our stats. So we entered into a new agreement with the municipality back in April of 2024. So just a little bit over 18 months now. Since then, we've seen where our bylaw enforcement and support services have provided support with 47 cases associated with either, and there are a multitude of different things. It could be over the limit. It was the number of stray cats and colony cats associated with within the community. We have seen a lot of obviously at-large animals that we've been able to support from that perspective. So it's been a culmination of support through township staff as well as our staff to provide that enforcement and support services for the last 18 months or so. Through that, we've seen 146 stray animals come into our facility. 19 of those are dogs. Obviously, a large number are cats. 8 surrenders for rehoming through residents within the community. 7 return owners, which are always a great success story from that perspective. And then also I should identify too that 15 animals that out of the 146, only 15 of them we unfortunately had to say goodbye to, just based on their overall medical conditions, and obviously the fact that a few of the colony cats that came in were quite feral and unable to be handled from that standpoint. So certain things that we're looking to provide in the future include things like TNR programming and stuff like that, which are more of the service-based ideals that we as an organization want to move towards. And that's kind of what I wanted to bring forward to you today from that perspective. So one of the big items and reasons why I'm here today is the fact that we are transitioning. We are in the process of transitioning away from bylaw enforcement and animal control as an organization. So that's not just one township identified, it's all. So we're working with all of the municipalities that we are currently providing bylaw and enforcement services for, and working on a transition plan associated with that. So What we've got, essentially what we've provided to staff are two options associated with our care ideals moving forward and ways that we can support the township with the ideals of what we want to do as an organization. So one is providing, essentially housing and care services, which is, being your impound and care facility for all of the animals within your community, providing food, shelter, water, staffing, medical support, vaccines, etc. for those folks, or for those animals, sorry, and also the services that we have in-house at PHS to provide that. So that is option one. Price for that obviously is identified above, and you've seen it as well as $13,000 per year. It's not the service levels that we're providing currently to the township. Secondary option is option number two, which is a support service model. So all of the items associated with the care and impound of animals and supporting those animals within the township, but also being a caveat for the staff to provide support service. What that means is essentially transport. So if an animal is seized, in the township, we have staff, or we can retain staff essentially to provide those kind of services going forward. So those again will be a little bit more than what we had in the past, but it's again an opportunity for us to continue to provide additional support services as an option of that perspective. What I should highlight as well is that within that, so the number of animals, going back to the number of animals that we've seen, so 147 of them over the last 18 months. Average length of stay is just over 36.5 days. So that's, a lot of care and support. Another identifier associated with some of the costs associated with these service changes is just the increase in overall care. So, staffing costs have gone up. Our overall operating costs have gone up. Our cost of care over the last 3 years, so not directly the last 18 months, but over the last 3 years has gone up 40%. So we need to identify that as part of our ideals going forward. Things like medication, vaccines, food costs, those have all just gone through the roof. If anybody's been to a local vet recently, you can understand where the pressures are coming from that perspective. We're not immune to those. Those are the same pressures that we see. And every animal that comes into our building requires those kinds of services. So that's it from that perspective. And just lastly, some of the services that we provide to the township that just may not necessarily be public knowledge, that I thought it would be important to identify. So obviously our intake and support services that we provide to residents and animals of the township, our adoptions process. We host a program here at the Humane Society called Snoopy, which is a Safe Nights for Pets program associated with folks that are fleeing domestic abuse or violence. So it's a 30-day free stay for pets within our center that support those folks. Obviously, spay neuter services, which is something that we've grown heavily over the last 3 years since we've been in our new facility. We are now dabbling further into affordable and accessible wellness services and clinics, so rabies, microchipping, core vaccines, all that good stuff. Care and compassion program. So when you have to say goodbye to your pet, we're doing one in a dignified, supportive way in the Humane Society. And then also humane education and outreach and emergency animal support services when required. So those are all of the services that we're providing to the township at all given times. This is just part of the added piece to it. And our ultimate goal as an organization is to just build a stronger partnership together, right? So a better future together with the animal in mind. And that's kind of the goal associated with me being here today. So that is essentially it for me, and happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Right, thank you. Yeah, it is we've been through this before, trying to get somebody to do this part of it, and it is a tricky thing to get the right person, and it's worked out really well with you guys doing it over the last few years. So we are going to be dealing with it later in the agenda, but you have two options here, and the one part of it that's missing now is going to be part that we're going to have to deal with separately, and that's it's bylaw portion. So anyways, I'll open up the council here, and if we move up.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, thank you very much for the presentation today. Just one question. kind of around the cost of it. For option one, you give us 13,000 annually, and then in our report, not in the presentation, it's broken down. It says $40 per animal for intake exam.
Additional.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
and that's on top, yeah, and then it gets into based on minor and major medical, it says based on veterinary clinic fees plus 10% admin processing fee. I don't have any numbers around that. Do you have a number in terms of us for what we would have in 24, 25? Like,
So through you, Chair, the numbers themselves I can get to you. I don't have them directly. I can tell you offhand that a lot of the animals that came into our care from this township, there was a lot of medical associated with them for sure. Just based on their overall health when they came into our care. Most of that will be done in-house. So the intake fee is going to support a lot of that. The major medical that is going to be associated with is anything that we can't support in-house. So anything that we have to take to an emergency clinic or is past our scope of availability, that's what we would be back towards the township associated with that. Most of the, core, like I said, core vaccines, a lot of the direct wellness pieces that we're going to provide to the animals are going to be, done in-house. It's just anything above and beyond that we can't support.
Thank you. And just a quick follow-up, Mr. Mayor. Based on your comments there, it sounds like that added cost is substantial then. In terms of
Sure. It could be depending on the number of animals that come in. Again, and also the state in which they come into our care. The way that we've acted in the past is from a support piece is that we've inherited a lot of those costs. And so we're just trying to right side that from an organizational standpoint.
And just from a council side, we're just trying to, I was talking with Councillor Clement here in terms of, you got in the report here, obviously we got 146 come in last year. So I'm just trying to get my number in terms of around what that added cost is going to be, right? $40 a head, we're around $6,000. But I mean, that extra fee for medical and whatnot, if I had another $6,000, we're getting up to over the total for the contract itself at 13, right? So,
and through you, Chair, that has been associated within these fees. That's what we're looking at the number of intakes that we've done, the amount of work and support and care that we've provided to these animals, and that's part and parcel to why those options and why that financial impact is presented that way.
And thank you very much for clarifying that. Yeah, it'd be really appreciated. I think it really helped council in terms of making a clear decision in terms of if we had those numbers moving forward. Thank you.
Comment?
So through you, Mayor Martin. So again, so at 15,000 is $1,250 a month, and I'm agreeing with the deputy mayor here that if we have the additional costs, then I'd like to see an overall picture. I really would. So yeah, I'd like some more figures. If we could do that.
They're happy to provide that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Councillor Doherty, go ahead.
Through Chair, when does this expire, our agreement? Because it was April, is it April of 26?
So through you, Chair, so the letter that was provided to staff was that our bylaw enforcement and support service, so our bylaw enforcement and animal control would expire as of January 1st. Now, through conversations with staff, we will provide some support through that transition period, recognizing it's going to take some time. We'll move ourselves away from bylaw and enforcing the bylaw associated that the township has. But from an animal control and housing and support standpoint, we'll continue to provide those services.
So is that a no or yes? It's not April, it's December 31st.
So through your chair, that's a no, it's January 1st.
Okay,
Yes.
Follow up if I may. So we're going from $500 a month to 15 plus, and we're getting 30 days notice. In essence.
Through your chair, yeah, in essence, based on the conversation we're having today, yes, the letter itself was dated back in October. And so that's within the 60 days that was provided as part of our agreement. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Councillor Slyber, go ahead.
Hi, that was a great report. But I think I'm getting some clarification. So you're telling everyone that the Peterborough Humane Society will no longer come out if the bylaw has, is that what you're saying?
Through your chair, it kind of depends on what level of service you're looking for through the Humane Society. So what I will identify is that if the township and council decides to move forward with the support services piece, and you require our assistance to come and transport an animal back to the Humane Society, yes, we will provide that service. But one thing that we will transition away from is the bylaw enforcement piece within the township.
Okay, that's great. Can you clarify that though? Because that didn't really make sense what you were saying. Can you clarify that statement?
Through your chairs, I can try. So anytime that we get called out for an investigative to look at a case, like a case, right? Whether it be an animal at large, a biting dog, an aggressive dog, right? Or colony cats within the township, our animal support or our animal control staff go out there and identify it as a bylaw infraction, right? So our animal control staff will come out to the township, look for the owner of the animals associated with it, either provide an education, a warning, or a fine based on the township's bylaws. And make sure that they're, basically they're abiding by the bylaws associated with the township, right? So moving forward, that would be something that would be placed either back onto the township or to another third party. Yeah. All the other aspects of it, the care, the support piece, and the support services are going to still be offered to the township, depending on obviously a go forward plan as you approve. It's just the bylaw enforcement and animal control piece we are transitioning away from.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, my pleasure.
Sorry, I'm still a little bit confused. So
Sure.
a person from Havelock as a cat, they phone you, you come down and deal with it, or you phone out, like, can you walk me through in terms of?
Yeah, through you, Chair.
Comes into you.
Currently, we would be the dispatch and the call center for any infraction associated with an animal in this township.
Yep.
Moving forward, the transition will be that any call that comes in around an infraction of the bylaw would be placed on the township or a third party entity, depending on what your decision is associated with that. If say bylaw enforcement or it's your own forces that provide that support or provide that service, if they require additional support or need the animal transferred back to PHS, you can call us.
Okay, perfect. Good. And then, sorry, just one last question before we move on here. In terms of, I got option 1, option 2 is basically just option 1 with the animal support staffing and then mileage.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions? All right, so we're going to be dealing with it in the follow-up action. So a motion to receive the delegation. Moved by Councillor Doherty, second by Councillor Clement. All in favor? Thank you. That's carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, next item on the agenda is staff reports for information. It's the building report for October 2025. Any questions around that? Being none, I'll look for a motion that we have received. Moved by Councillor Clement, second by Councillor Doherty. All in favor? Carried.
Good numbers.
So, anyway, okay, so we're gonna move into staff reports for follow-up action. Travis, with regard to the animal control and town support.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Thanks, Sean, for coming today. John's probably covered 95% of what I had to say. So really the main thing was to bring council up to speed that the Main site is no longer going to be doing animal control for us as of December 31st. As you noted, that letter was provided in October, the end of October 29th, 2025. So we have started a job description for that, and we're going to look at possibly going out to see if we can find somebody or explore other options in the short term. The bylaw enforcement officer and the deputy chief building official. So we are all appointed as bylaw enforcement officers, so we could do animal control if need be, if something come in until we get that covered. The second part of it, of course, as Sean spoke to, is the impound and support services. So that's either through Humane Society or explore other options as well. I guess one of the biggest things is capacity, and wherever you go, they're going to need capacity. Like Sean pointed out, there was a number of cats and stuff that went there, cats and dogs. So they were fortunate enough to have capacity at most of the time, I guess. There was a couple of times maybe you're at capacity, but. Yeah. And there's not that many out there to pick from, is it either, so that's it.
Okay, yeah, so I don't know, there's a couple of options here, but,
Sorry, through you, Mr. Mayor, I just make a motion that we approve option 1.
okay. So option 1 is moved with a motion. Is there a seconder for that? One time.
Sure. Sorry. Sorry, Mr. Mayor, I apologize. We did ask for those other numbers.
Yes.
Is there a way we could, is,
Bring it back to the.
yeah, just wondering if there's a time frame where I make that motion, making this decision, because they did ask for more numbers before I make this motion, so.
So, yeah, so you're changing your.
So like, I would
No, there's
change-
no second,
yeah,
right?
move the motion and change it to a motion to receive until we have said information and it gets brought back to council. I'm sorry.
All right, second by Councillor Blackman.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I have one question, through you, Mayor Martin. I'm just a little confused with option 1 and option 2. What is the differences between both of them? Like what's option 2? They're pretty much the same, except for animal support staffing.
Mileage.
Pardon?
Yeah, and mileage.
And mileage, okay, well, I understand the mileage, so what is the $50 an hour? Support staffing.
Sorry. Yeah, no,
We shouldn't have, didn't let you go.
no, that's fine. That's through your chair. So the additional fees essentially are part and parcel of that. So it's retention of staff associated with it. And then the mileage would be above and beyond that. So it'd be $50 per hour for animal control officers to execute or come out and provide those services.
Okay, but those services are in option 1,
They're not.
right?
Sorry, through your chair, they would not be. So option 1 would only provide animal care and housing. Option 2 is providing the support services that the township may require from time to time.
That's okay, support services.
Yeah, the town,
I
so
wrap my head around that.
essentially transport.
Transport, just come get the
and
dog.
basically supporting township staff with, so if you've got, I'll just use an example, if you've got a colony of feral cats that are in the community, you need assistance in collecting them and bringing them back to the Humane Society for housing, our support staff can provide that. Okay, but it's the additional fee is to provide that, to retain the staff within that department to
Yeah.
provide that service.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? We do have a motion on the floor. Right, so I'll call the question. All in favor of the motion? And that's it. Thanks. Great. Next item on the agenda is our treasurer, Lionel Pound. Yeah, so this is with regards to the indexing of the development charges that we introduced this year. So do you have anything that you'd like to say, Lionel, or to introduce it?
Through you, Chair, the only thing I will say is that the bylaw that we have allows for the indexing. It is not mandatory. So this report is simply to provide the information as to what the rates would be if council so chose to index the rates.
Or we can hold them if we want to, like what's happening with the province, it's something that might be better to just hang on and just leave them as they are for this year. That's just my suggestion. The province has been putting the development fees under the microscope, and this is something that might not be a good time to increase them. But it's up to council.
Yeah, I and do agree with what you said, Mr. Mayor. So I'll just make a motion that we receive the report for the moment.
Yeah.
Is something, sorry, further to that, is something maybe we could look into a little bit deeper during budget as well,
Yeah. Yeah. I think
moving
so.
forward in terms of what the change might cost us in terms of
Yeah. So for today, the motion.
motion would be just to receive.
Okay. Moved by Deputy Mayor Webb. Do I have a seconder for that? Second by Councillor Clement. Questions, comments? Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't understand what the province is doing and how it affects the DCs. I don't, because if they come up with something and if we have to alter, that would override what we're doing anyway. And we have a propensity all the time to not increase fees on an annual basis and wait for a 5-year bump, and then it becomes a real issue. So, my thoughts is that we should probably index and see what happens, but that's just my opinion.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. Any other questions? Go ahead.
So through your member, that's just a comment. Isn't the province at the time, they're waffling right now as to whether new ones are gonna get it, how they're gonna do it, if it's brown, whatever. I think that's where we're going, is it not, that the province right now is sort of undetermined? I mean, I do agree with the indexing, I do, but
Yeah, through you, I think that's some of it. For myself, I know it's just a matter of we're trying to encourage development here in our community. And upping development charges to me is just one more block in terms of, hindering developers from, or giving developers another reason not to come to Havelock. I think the numbers we have there are substantial to cover the infrastructure costs moving forward. Is that I don't have all the numbers, maybe through budget, we can look at this a little closer in terms of what our actual intake in terms of development charges is. I don't think it's super substantial, given that we're not building a whole lot of homes. So that's where I would be with it. I don't think it's costing us a whole lot at the moment. So.
Okay. Right there. Councillor Flagler, go ahead.
Through you, Mayor Martin. Lionel, how many years have we had development charges?
Future 2025 was the first year.
So this year was the first year and we're arguing about an increase? Are you serious? Okay, thank you. That's all I need to ask.
Okay, all right, so there's a motion on the floor that we receive it for today and review it through budget. So it's moved and seconded. All in favor of the motion? That carries. Okay, next item here is scheduling date for the council view of the 2026 budget. So I talked to CAO and Gioni around having it on the 16th included in with a council meeting, if that's going to stretch it out too long. It sounds like it should work out. It's just the delivery of the budget. It's not any deliberation or anything that day. So that was the first date that we delivered on for the 16th, that we get the details, and then we would come back and deliberate. So I was looking at the first week of January. It seems to be open. I just wonder if there's a chance of possibly coming back on the Tuesday of that week and maybe even the Thursday or Wednesday, whatever. I think it's nice to give staff a chance in between to do any adjustments if they need to, but it's up to council. I'm just looking at that first week. It's a busy month, and we have Roma in there too, so we might want to try and use that week if we can to get this thing moving. So what's council's thoughts? Comment?
for your member, so are we discussing the 7th, 8th, or 9th of January then? That's the full, right after council? January 6th
Yeah,
to the 9th that week?
yeah. We don't have any council meeting that week, so
We have that on the 6th, don't we?
no, it's the 13th.
Correct.
Yeah,
Good thing that I messed up the calendar.
so that's what I say. It's open, so it might be a good time to start the process and get it moving.
Okay.
Councillor Doherty, go ahead.
What are we doing on the 16th? I'm just a little confused.
It's going to be delivered to us so we can, with more detail, we're going to be receiving the information before that, but
I thought we were getting it on the 8th or 9th.
yeah. That's what he's aiming for, I think. Yeah, go ahead. It's working.
It works. Okay, it is working?
Yes.
So the budget books would be delivered next week, yes.
Okay. So on the 16th, there was the manager, you were gonna give an overview of what's any of the highlights of it or whatever, or is that?
If council so chooses, myself and the managers could do that on the 16th.
Yeah, we did that at the county and it worked really well, so, and then we know exactly what we're looking at, we're all on the same page, so. Okay. So the first week of January, if council is okay with that, if we pick a couple of dates there, or at least one date in that week to try and start the ball rolling, so I think it's the 6th of January is the Tuesday, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, so the 6th of January would be an opportunity to spend some time on this thing.
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor, yeah, I'm okay with it. I'll let somebody else make a motion if they want to move it. Just in terms of that, just looking at the CAO, passing this for myself and maybe a couple other members of council, the main concern here is in terms of, I think, getting some of these capital projects approved. As we've had in previous years, we've had trouble getting out to RFPs and whatnot until later in the year. We go through this in the first week of January, that will eliminate these problems we've had in the past in terms of getting these RFPs, RFQs out. Sorry, that's me.
Me too.
Through you, Mayor Martin, definitely, the sooner the budget is approved and passed by council, the sooner the RFPs and tenders and work can begin. So absolutely it will help.
Thank you. Hearing that, then I'll make a motion that we approve January 6th, 7th, and 8th. For just
So these 2 days,
okay, January 6th and 7th.
okay, moved by Deputy Mayor Webb that we look at January 6th and 7th. Do I have a seconder for the motion? Okay, second by Councillor Clement.
Not available on the 6th.
You're unavailable?
7th, 8th, and 9th, I am not 6th.
Okay, 7th and 8th.
Yeah, whichever is good to the rest of council.
Will that work for you, Lionel, as far as
What days are those?
Future
Wednesday, Thursday?
That would
Yeah,
work,
whatever.
or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, either one.
Okay. All right.
I'm open to whatever. I'll move whatever dates are good to the council. So
Okay, so let's start with the Wednesday, Thursday.
7th and 8th is
Yeah.
good with everybody.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so 7th and 8th.
Okay, moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councillor Clement, that we come back for deliberations on January 7th and 8th. Deb, go ahead.
Question, to you, Mayor Martin. So it seems like we're rushing to get this done, which is fine. It's okay. So you've made 2 dates. Does that mean that's it? There could be more dates, because I think there's gonna be a lot of time this year. I think we should all really look at what we are spending and what we're trying to spend.
Yeah.
Like, I think we need time for that. I don't think it should be rushed, especially day after day and whatever. Anyway, that's fine. That's fine.
So that's, yeah, so that's just to start.
Yeah, it's just-
And if it goes well, we'll be okay. If not, we'll have to do another day. That's right.
Just for 9:30.
Yeah, they're usually 4 hour sessions, but. Okay. All right then. Okay, so we have the motion on the floor. All in favor of the motion, and that's carried. All right, thanks, Lionel. So next, Peter Dawson with regards to depot operation. The circular material.
Good morning, Mayor Martin and members of council. The purpose of the report today is to present the change notice for the depot operations agreement with Circular Materials for adoption. The recommendation is there in the report. I'd just like to skip to the background here and I think it just help for clarity on what the changes are. Current agreement indicates that CEMO will provide depot services for residential blue box material to households receiving depot garbage services in the township. This change to the agreement will eliminate depot services for blue box materials that are currently provided for commercial and industrial. So staff are investigating alternate options for services related to commercial and industrial blue box materials. And in the chart below it has the numbers of what CEMO's change orders is presented with. So we are approximately down just per month, approximately a difference of $1,200.
All right, so there will be another piece of this with regards to the non-eligibles and a cost of that.
Yes, through Mayor Martin. Yeah, staff are working on and we will have something in place as we're just working on getting the details and how it's handled. So yes, but staff are in the communication with our contractor as right now.
Another piece of the contract that I keep hearing about is contaminated. So like with bad stuff going into the recycles, they're going to charge us for that. Was that anything in the contract around that?
I think we're down to 4% through Mayor Martin. I think we're at the 4% range here now for trying to eliminate that happening. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, yeah, Pete, in terms of the ones that are going to be taking off the list, we have a number in terms of how many between industrial and commercial.
Through you, Mayor, no, I don't have that number exactly how many. Some of our local businesses are currently already, handling it themselves just for the amounts, but I do not have a number of exactly how many businesses.
Yeah, and understand that are quite a bit already paying for their own garbage pickup. In terms of that, have we made them aware? Are we attempting to make these businesses aware of what's coming here January 1st? I'm just concerned in terms of a lot of this might come as a surprise to some people. We're going to be in the middle of winter. If there's a snowstorm and there's blue boxes or garbage left out on the street, we're going to have an awful mess here. So
through you, Mayor Martin, I believe they are aware, but I do, as soon as we have something in place, then that's when we can, say, are we going to have some bins for them at our 6th transfer station? So yeah, so it's still a bit of a work in progress, but.
I understand the bar is moving every day. To the very point, the province is still kind of moving. Hopefully something might come before Christmas that'll bail us out of this situation. But until then, I think our best way to approach is to at least make everybody aware of what's coming. And that way there's no surprises in terms of once we get to the new year, right?
Right.
Okay, Councilor Doherty.
Mayor, I'm confused as to the business not being aware of. Maybe I misinterpreted, but I thought when that decision was made by the county, that question was brought up, and I thought I was advised that they already know that they got to make arrangements themselves. So they don't know until now, or did I misunderstand? No, I believe the county has been trying to contact all of the people that are going to be affected by this. This is just a second layer for us in terms of our town and our residents, in that maybe some of them haven't been contacted by the county, and it'd be nice if our staff would reach out for them. Sure. So I'm pretty sure that the county has, and I'm getting a nod from Carrie back there. So yeah, the county has made all these people aware that this is coming. A follow. Thanks, Deputy Mayor. The follow is that we're getting less money, and the numbers just don't add up in the agreement. At one place it says 4,133 people, and the other place that their number come up with, because it's to their benefit, it's 3,375 or something. So we talked a little bit yesterday where is the discrepancy? It's not just a little bit, it's like they missed it by that much. So it's 800. I mean, it can't be just that I missed one on the street.
Yeah, so for you, Mayor Martin, the section that Councillor Doherty is referring to is it's the promotion, education services per month that we are receiving. So they went from 4,133 numbers of households that receive promotion and education, and CMO in their change order is notifying us that no, there's only 3,375 households that they're notifying. So, and then they've also went from $1 times the 4,133 people down to 35 cents. So that's, yeah, that is their, you know, that didn't come from our staff. That was presented to us from CMO. So that is one of the changes in the cost that we will be receiving. And the other one was in the depot, residential depot operational costs that they are subtracting us from, or some from our monthly.
Yeah, if I may, I don't see any point in sending out the agreement. It's one-sided, it's whatever they want, we can't do anything about it, so. What difference does it make?
Yeah.
So through you, Mayor Martin. So Peter, what could we do to improve the contamination costs? Like, is it better educate the people with cleaning the cans and the jars? And what do we need to do to correct that problem?
Through you, Mayor Martin, to Councillor Clement. So that's on our staff at our depots to make sure that it's sorted properly. That's the clear bag policy is in place for that reason. So staff at the sites can ensure that. But again, it's a visual inspection, right? So they're not sorting bags, but they're, as the residents do come through, it's a visual inspection of, I started at 10, I think we're down to 4% now. So it's, but it is a visual inspection, and it is the staff attendants that are, responsible for that coming through the entrance.
But again, it goes back on the person putting the garbage in that bag.
Yes, through you. So I don't know if when we do the commercial industrial notice, on our website, we can also maybe add something to that social media post, but website to please ensure that you're under that threshold.
Exactly.
And that's going to be another job for the attendants at the transfer stations, because they're going to have to keep that stuff separate. It'll be a separate bin altogether that we'll be paying for ineligibles, and they'll have to make sure that it's going in the right bins and whatever. It's changing. It's been changing for a couple of years now, and yeah, they're getting fussier and fussier. So but there is a recommendation here. What's council's thoughts? So what? The recommendation here is
Motion to approve.
what about the recommendation? Okay, moved by Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Clement. Question, comment? All in favor? That's carried. Next on the agenda is being scheduled for 2026. Any questions on that? If not, I'll look for a motion to adopt that. Moved by moved by Councillor Doherty, second by Councillor Clement. All in favor? And that's carried. Okay, and next on the agenda is a community grant application. We have a community grant application from the Havelock Historical Society with regards to helping with their insurance. Yes, it's pretty straightforward. This is one thing. If it was a committee of council, it would be all paid for. They wouldn't have to do that right now. It's not. So
Yeah, and I'd like to make
Move
a
a minute.
motion to approve it. Yeah.
okay, moved by Councillor Flagler, second by Councillor Doherty. All in favor? And that's carried. All right. We'll move into catch up here. We don't have any correspondence action items. We do have one thank you letter from Sonoma Mines with regard to the grant that they received. Motion to receive the correspondence. Councillor Doherty Counselor Clement, all in favor? That's carried. All right, we'll move into committee liaison reports. You got anything from the county at all? Tyler?
I think our meeting was after, right?
It probably was.
Yeah, so I'll have to update after.
Okay.
the meeting tomorrow, yeah, and then just. Are we into council activity report or no?
Yeah, so the next item's on there is.
Yeah, so any comments or questions, OPP? I think I commented about a lot of that last at the last meeting, we had our three nominees, or community appointees nominees selected to the committee. And then I believe quickly at the last meeting, I asked you, everybody got a copy of the OPP detachment local action plan. So any comments, questions, things you'd like to add to it or be seen added to it, if we could get those back to whether it be our staff or OPP Inspector Galeazza by December 19th, so that they can be incorporated in the updated draft. But the draft will be reviewed January 5th at the report there 2026. So anything in there that you like, that you want to see added, anything in there you don't like that you want to see taken out, if you could just forward those comments on to whether it be our staff or Inspector Galeazza before the 19th, that would be great. And any questions on any comments?
Questions for Deputy Mayor Webb? Okay. Okay, so Councillor Clement, you had the library.
And your reading policy that Councillor Flagler asked me about is included in here, so I got all settled that up.
Flagler, go ahead.
Yes, through you, there is one thing that's actually bothering. And it says, when you're getting rid of the books, is to get another book. Okay, so I think the library itself needs to be cleaned out, books stacked on top of books and piles of books, which I'm sure has probably decreased quite a bit. And that would be great, but I don't think that that's a part of the regular reading books. I'm sorry. I can't find the part where it says.
May I explain?
Yes, you can.
Okay. So what we're doing is we're going through and we're culling all the books. The new procedure is that when we order books, if the book's going on the shelf, there better be one going into either library or friends or, whatever. So we're just asking one book in, one book out. Same thing, we get a lot of donated books, which we are trying to avoid these days because we just have an accumulation. But same thing, if you're going to take a book, you've got to go through there and you've got to find another book to take out. We're just trying to eliminate a lot of overflow. And it's working. It is slowly working, trust me.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. There's no other questions for Kathy. Councillor Doherty, you have some minutes from community policing here from September 10th and October 8th.
Yeah, thank you. Through you, Mayor, I presented it last time. The minutes are just catching up because it happened to be the day before. So no, that's all.
Okay. There's no questions. I'll look for a motion that we receive. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Just met.
Through you, Mayor Martin, we do require a motion from council to ratify the nominees for the Police Services Board.
Oh, I apologize.
Okay. All right, so moved by Councillor Doherty and second by Councillor Clement that we ratified the appointments. Okay, all in favor? And that's carried. And the motion to receive the balance of the liaison report. Moved by Deputy Mayor Webb and seconded by Councillor Clement. All in favor? And that's carried. All right, next on the agenda is notice of motion. I don't have any written notice of motion before me. Is there any oral notice of motion to be brought up today? Seeing none. Other business. And other business, I just had something in there when we had the calendar on the agenda, I just thought I would bring it forward again with regards to evening council meetings. At one time, we were all evening council meetings, then we moved to The planning meetings were always in the evening. Things have changed. But one of the things I keep hearing from the young people is how do you expect to get us to come out to council meetings when they're in the daytime and I'm at work? So I had it come to me again last week or 2 weeks ago, and I thought I'll throw it on the agenda because we're putting our new meeting agenda out. It's up to council. Some councils are at 5 o'clock. We used to be 7 o'clock. There's an opportunity to adjust it. The reason we had the evening meetings for planning meetings was because a lot of people wanted to come and plead their case, and we don't see that as much anymore. A lot of it's done through agents, so I'm not going to not going to argue that point, but there's just an opportunity here to look at some different times to see if we can encourage some young people to take part, but it's up to council. I would just receive it. Councilor Blackley, go ahead.
Through you, Mayor Martin, just a question regarding staff and anyone else that gets paid in this office. If they're coming out for a night meeting, is that overtime for them? How does that work for their pays?
No, it's not.
If you could please explain.
It's in the contract that they have to.
I would like to see their contract then that says that they have to come back out for a 7 o'clock or a 5 o'clock meeting.
You should look at it.
Yeah, there are some situations that would require overtime if they're after hours. Some employees would be paid overtime.
There is, okay. All right, you can tell me that.
I would like more information on this.
Okay, I was in that, so upper management, in my days, it was all, management is all, there's no overtime. It's if staff has to come in, so we would have to schedule the meetings to suit the staff, and that can be done. So, but management has to come to evening meetings. If we have evening meetings, it's a part of the contract. Council.
Through Chair.
Yeah.
Is it part of the contract?
Yeah.
So, and how many of them?
Upper management.
What is that? I don't know what that means, so. Is it?
So that would be like the treasurer, the CAO clerk.
So if they're in their contract, so there's no in lieu of then, if they spend 5 hours at night, they don't get 5 hours off during the day then, or? So it's strictly gratuitous that they do. Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry, I thought council knew that, but anyways. Knew about the upper management, it's always been there. Like I said, we used to have 4 evening meetings a month.
I thought we went through this already though, where we got into this in terms of, we all thought nobody was getting paid, and then we found out that everybody was getting paid.
So it gets tricky around things like if you're bringing outside consultants and things like that in, you'd have to schedule them to suit. We would still have one daytime. I'm not saying going completely the other way, but that being said, I'm not hearing it anyway, so all we gotta do is make a motion to receive.
Well, no, just to your point, I get where it's got, I get comments myself in terms of this, and in terms of moving meetings tonight, I really have no problem with it if we think that more people are gonna get involved or whatnot, but at the same time, for us to say that there's not gonna be an added cost to the municipality, I don't think is completely
Thank you.
correct, right? And at least we should get our numbers, our head around the numbers that's gonna be. But in terms of moving tonight, I really have no problem with it. I get it in terms of, not everybody can be here in the daytime. It does help, to your point, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, we do have things now where we can schedule some of these things. I think Zoom does help in terms of some of the planning things as well. But there are people that come to me and say, hey, I'd like to be able to go to a meeting at 5 or 7 o'clock at night. So I have no problem with that. I just think we should know what it's going to cost us if we make this decision. That's all. So, okay.
We can make a motion to receive it for today, and you can ask some questions. I'll bring it up in budget time.
Well, I guess I'm getting confused because we've had 3 surveys since we've been on council. I've read all the surveys. I haven't seen one survey that says council meeting should be at night or I look at an alternate time. So that's 3 surveys. So, and I went through my notes yesterday to look to see whether I've got emails from people that are asking for it. They haven't. And when I was campaigning 3 years ago, I didn't see it, but I have it if it's something recent. And the other thing is, we're over 3 years into our term now. If perhaps the new council would like to look at evenings, then I think that would be something that their choice, but we've been going along for 3 years now as is. I didn't know what changed that stuff.
So the change is there's an election coming next year, and I've had a couple of young people say, how can I do this? I work. And I said, you can change that if you were elected, that comes up at the beginning of the term. If you can get the support of the rest of council, you can set the meetings to what you think would suit you. As far as the surveys, I don't put a lot of weight in surveys. I talk to people, and I have a number of people that have been asking me, just like the deputy mayor said, there's people asking. So I just brought it up for today, put it on the table. There is some things around it as far as cost and things like that. In my time on council, we've always looked at this. We went to Monday meetings to try and encourage the waterfront people to come out, so they didn't have to go home. We tried that. It didn't work. I'm just trying something here to see if we can get some different people interested in council, especially the young people, because we need some young people on this council to bring their perspective. So it's an opportunity for them to come out. So I was young one time, not now. So anyways. No, anyway, motion to receive. Yeah, moved by Councillor Doherty, seconder. Deputy Mayor Webb, all in favor? And that's carried. All right. We have a couple of bylaws here. And first bylaw. Yeah. First bylaw there for the circular material. Yep. Operations agreement.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Moved by Hart, second by Kathy, all in favor. Carried. The meeting dates and times. Moved by Deputy Mayor Webb, second by Councilor Clement, all in favor, and that's carried. Okay, we do have a closed session held under section 239 2G. No matters, and 239 2. Secret or specific technical. So a motion to go into closed.
That is new.
I know, we get them all. So moved by Deputy Mayor, second by Councilor Doherty, all in favor. Well, we have the confirming bylaw for today's meeting. So the confirming bylaw for today's meeting, Kathy and Bev, all in favor, carried, and motion to adjourn. Deputy Mayor.